My name is Jóhanna Harðardóttir and I live in Hvalfjörður in Iceland. It's close to Reykjavík. I'm a journalist by profession and a teacher, and I was born in a little town close to Reykjavík in '52. And as a kid, my father was a sailor, a seaman, so he was not home very much, and my mother was home with us. We were 4, and she was not very Christian, and my father was not either. He was an Ásatrúar like I am. So I didn't really learn a lot about religion or Christianity, because Iceland is, you see, a Christian nation. But I didn't really learn much about that. I went to church for a few times, of course, and then when I was 14, I was going to be confirmed, right? So I started going to the priest, and then I learned that this was not my religion. So I really had no religion for a very long time. But when I was about 23 or 24, I realized that I needed something that was stronger than I am myself. And I started looking for that thing, or this God. And I found it in Ásatrú. Ásatrú is the religion, the old religion of Iceland that came here with the settlers in maybe year 800 and something. And then it died, or people thought it had died because we took Christianity in the year 1000, but it lived in the people, and it's still there. And I was very glad when I found this, because I needed this power, the God. And I believe that God, whatever you call him, whether you call him Buddha or Mohammed or Thor or Christ or whatever, it comes from within. God is here. But you will have to find God. Every single person will have to look and find the God that fits to his own soul, his own personality. And with me, I have been always very connected to nature. And the God that I found was Thor, because he was, or is, the son of the earth, like I am the daughter of the earth. And he was the protector and a friend of mankind. And our gods in Ásatrú are really not the gods that you do not pray to the gods like they are higher and mightier than yourself. The gods are your friends. They are a part of you. They are really you in their way. You find yourself in each and every one of them. They are many. So not all Ásatrúar people have the same God, because we are different people and we need different things. But everybody needs something that is stronger than themselves.
But it would help to understand just some of the basic understanding about the gods. And I want to also make sure I'm saying the name of the religious practice right. It's Asa?
Ásatrú, yes.
Asa, what's the second
Ásatrú.
word? True.
Yeah.
Ásatrú.
True is belief.
Okay.
We believe in Ásar, which is the gods.
And it's ASA or AOSA?
It's ASA. Yeah. Well, I don't know what to tell you about them, but it's like with so many other religions, like Hindu and the Northern Americans, Indians. we have many gods. And it's different than when there's only one God. Because when you have many gods, you find the God that suits you. And there are so many. There is Odin, which was the father of all the other gods. And he was really kind of a king. He was even a magician. He was the ruler, and he was the one that taught everyone. And then there was his son Thor, which was probably the most popular god in Iceland, because we are so connected to our land, to our country, and to nature, and that's why we are connected to him. And he was the one that had the power, and he was mighty, and he was this personality that comes to help you when you are in need. And then there was, for example, Freya, which was or is the goddess of love and fertility. And then there was Freyr, who was the god of fertility in nature, for growth, and for the sun and the rain and all that, the elements of the earth. And then there was Frigg, who was the goddess of the home and the family, who held people together. And there were so many others. There was, for example, Tyr, who was the warrior, which to those who were, well, the Vikings probably believed in him, I guess. And, well, there were so many. And always, as I say, well, for example, when you're young and in love, Freya is probably your god or goddess. And when you're at war or at some task, when you need this, need being strong and competent, then there's probably Tyr. And when you're in this family way, you have your children. When your children are young, it's Frigg. That's how it goes with this religion of ours.
How do you practice the religion? Is there prayer? Are there certain kinds of temple? Is there such a thing as a location, a temple where you worship, or how does it go?
Yes, we have a temple, of course. We are building a temple now. I have a little temple here in my land. And we don't really need much because nature is our temple. And we often meet, it's really like a family. We have small children and we have old people and everything between. And we meet like a family. And we always have the four elements of the earth. We have the water, we have the wind, and we have the earth, and we have the fire. And we always eat something together, and it's just a family gathering, kind of. And that's how we practice our religion. And it really depends on what's going on in the world, what we do. Because sometimes we need to come together and just talk about things that are problems that we are having. For example, we had this economic crisis. People all talked about that, just as well as other things that are happening with us. That's a bit of a strange story. Well, I'll tell you it anyway. The first thoughts of being with God or seeing the runes. It's a very strange thing because Odin brought us the runes, brought runes to the humankind, and they are really, each one of them is a symbol of nature, whether it's in the country or the land or whether it's within yourself. And I started seeing them in the mountains and in the stones and everywhere in nature. I started seeing those symbols. And I was wondering what it is, and I didn't understand. And my father told me what it was. So my religion really started with runes. I started thinking about the runes and what they meant. And I found my religion through them.
The runes mean certain symbols?
Yes.
I'm not familiar. What are the symbols?
Shall I show you some? Yeah? Here are some of those runes. I'll show it to you. Here's, for example, the one that is, it's called Ir, it's the tree of life.
Hold on one second. Keep holding it up. Okay, say again.
This is the one that's, this is a symbol for the tree of life, for example. And it's something that is, it's just life itself. Everything is within that tree of life. And it protects you as well. And here's, for example, one. And this is called Odal, and it's the home. It's your ground, your base of life, and your home, and what's surrounding you. And these showed me the way to my religion. And I was just maybe about 13 or 14 or something like that, I think. But then I started reading more about the gods, and I became friends with Thor. It was very nice. It was this friendship that means everything to you. And you know, I guess people, and we really don't tell people how to believe or what to believe, or how to I don't know how to say this, how to do this religion, or what to do really. We don't tell people how to do that. You'll have to find your own way. You have to connect yourself to your God and do this the way that you like to.
When you were a child and you started seeing, you call the symbols the runes.
Mm-hmm.
When you started seeing the runes, tell me more about that. You would just be walking in nature and you would see the symbols.
Yes.
So say more about that.
Well,
like, do you recall a specific time you were with your?
Yes, I remember. No, I was alone. I remember this the first time. I never thought about this really, but the first time that I saw this, I was walking down by the sea. I really love walking down by the sea. And I was walking down by the sea and I was picking up pebbles. And the pebbles had those runes in them. It's just, you pick up a pebble and there's a little yellow line in it or whatever. And I was wondering, why do I see a certain symbol in this? It's just a stone. But then I started finding more, and I saw those symbols in the mountains, where the streams come down the mountains. They had those symbols in them. And they're everywhere. They're just everywhere. And then I started reading, what does this symbol mean? Why does it come to me all the time? And when I found out their names and what they mean, they gave me something that is very dear to me. They told me something. And they also made me look further inside myself. Because when you're trying to find God, you must look into your own heart or your own soul. And I kind of found it with the runes.
Tell me about becoming friends with Thor. tell me this story.
Well, first really I became enemy with Thor. It's kind of funny because you see, I lost my friend, and I was very angry. You get very angry when you lose someone that you love very much. And she was too young to go. And I was really hurt, and I was angry. And when you're hurt and you're angry, you try to find someone to blame. It's just natural for people to find someone to blame. And I had been, I knew Thor already. And he was the God that I believed in, but I was in no contact with him. But I was angry and I needed someone to blame, and I blamed him. Why is she dead? Why did you not help her to fight this thing? And like I said, God is within yourself. And I started thinking, and he fought me back, and he said, why? Why do you think that I can help? Why do you expect me to do that? We all need to do what we can when something like this happens. And you cannot blame anyone else. You cannot blame me. You cannot blame anyone. And I started thinking, and I found out that this was just something that it was nobody's fault. It was not her fault, it was not my fault, it was not Thor's fault. And that's how we became friends. And always when I need to discuss something that is hard to discuss and hard to understand, because there are so many things in this world that you really don't want to be like they are, but they still are that way. And you need to discuss them. Then it's good to have God to talk to. Maybe he can't help you very much, but he can always make you think. And when you think, you try to find ways to make things better. Even if you can't make everything good, you can always do something to make things better. And that's how he helps me.
How do you communicate with Thor as part of your life? Is it just a personal discussion, or do you have a worship?
Well, sometimes, no, it's not. It's really nothing regular. Sometimes I don't talk to him for weeks or even months because I don't need to. There's nothing special that makes me do that. I sometimes walk down to my temple and I light a fire there, and I just sit there and I'm not in a contact. I'm just there, and I know everything is around me. Whatever I need is there for the taking, when I need it. But I don't need it, and then I don't go and get it. But sometimes when I need to, I cannot talk to him. I don't talk aloud like this. It's just my thoughts. I talk to him with my thoughts. And he answers me back in my thoughts. That's how I communicate with him. And the other gods, of course, as well.
What do you feel like was the first time in your life you had to rely upon God, or chose to rely upon God?
That was the one that I was telling you about with my friend there. But there are so many other things. And sometimes he comes to me. I mean, I don't go to him, but he comes to me. And that's even stronger. Sometimes he scares me. But he's always kind to me anyway. But he comes to me and tells me off sometimes when I'm not doing the right things. I don't know where to start really, because it took me a very long time, because I had been Ásatrúar, or in this religion, and believed in the gods and been in contact with them for a long time before I went through this religious Ásatrú, you see. It was just me, no other people. But then when I started going to Ásatrúarfélag, which is our religious group, I met a lot of people there that I really loved. And it's somehow, when you come into a religious group of people, you suddenly feel like you're at home at last. Suddenly, you're with people that understand you and know what you're talking about. It's somewhere in there, and they have the same side of people, of life as you have. So I felt very good there, and I started being with those people, and I am used to working with groups of people. I am a teacher and I am a journalist, so I've been working with people, especially young people, really all my life. And I also have a good knowledge of history, and of course this is also our culture. Ásatrú is also a part of the Icelandic culture, because it's the first religion of this country. And I had good knowledge of that. So people kind of gathered around me. And I also have this spiritual need to talk to people and teach them and just exchange opinions. So it somehow came like that. It was the people that came to me, not me who came to the people, really.
And then you went through some study or initiation?
No, we really don't do it like that. It's just you need to fill a certain amount of, I don't know how to say this in English. You have to have knowledge of Ásatrú and the old religion and the culture, and you need to be 35 years of age, and you need to have a degree of some kind, not religious.
So you met these requirements, and then...
Yes, the people choose you yourself. It's the people who choose you, really. But you need to have some, what do you call this? You have to, there are some requirements that you need to have before you can be chosen by the people.
So tell me about you being chosen by the people. When did this happen? How did it happen?
It was about 16 years ago. And there was a group of people that just wanted me to be their leader. So, well, of course, you don't jump into things like that. It took me some time. No, it was 18 years ago. It took me 2 years. It was 16 years ago that I decided to do this. But this is a lot of responsibility, and I was not... I'm very busy, and at first I didn't want to do this, but then of course I said yes. And I don't regret it now, because it gives me a lot back. It's nice to be with those people and have them around you and teach the kids what they need to know. And then, of course, I do a lot of ceremonies. For example, weddings and funerals and name givings and things like that. And it's really beautiful. It's a good way of life.
What's the most satisfying thing you do as a priestess, and what's the most difficult?
Well, actually, nothing is difficult because this is something that you do because you like to do it. It's always good because it's my own free will to be in this. And I love everything about it, really, because I love being with the people. And there's really nothing bad about that. But of course, it can be quite a task, especially funerals, because people are grieving and there's a, yeah, well, that can be hard on you, but it's not bad. It's really good, and it's very good when you can try to help people in their grief. But it's enjoyable, for example, to have weddings and giving names to children.
I know you told us about the experience of being at war with Thor, angry at Thor, and then becoming friends with Thor. What do you consider, as you think about since that time, what would you say was the most significant spiritual experience that you've had?
I'm not sure I can tell about that because it's, well, yeah, why not? Well, you see, one of my grandchildren got very ill. She got this, I don't know, now I'm just talking to you. I'm wondering what the name is when you get, there's this in your brain.
Meningitis?
Right, yeah. Yeah, well, it was when my grandchild was 5 years old then, at the time. She got meningitis, and they didn't think that she would live, really, and it was a very hard time for me and everybody, of course. So they told us that within the next 24 hours would tell us if she would live or die. So I went down to my temple with my wood and my religious horn drinking from and my ring of oath. And I sat down there and I was alone. It was in the middle of the night. And I sat down there alone and at the fire. And I sat there for a long time and I couldn't do anything. I just sat there. And I didn't say a word. I just sat there and cried, really. But then suddenly, I started talking to Thor. And I said to him, well, I know, of course, that I cannot ask you to do anything for me. But if this little girl lives, please take her. Whether you want her alive or dead, take her. She's yours. And she lived. She lost her hearing in 1 year, but she lived. And, well, that's my biggest moment with Thor.
And how is she today?
She's fine. She's learning to play the piano. She's 9 years old now. And she really is Thor's. I don't know why, because she lives in Finland. And she doesn't know him except through me. But she loves him anyway. I know that she has this connection. And I don't know where it comes from, because I don't, it's really in our religion, Ásatrú, we do not, it's customary not to try to get other people into the religion. We never do that. We don't go among people, tell them about our gods. People can come to us, we don't come to them. And I have not, I tell my grandchildren stories about the gods. They're just stories, just like you read adventures to kids, because we are just telling them, who is this guy? What's he like? Who's this lady? What did she do? It's just like telling people stories, but we don't connect them to believe. And I have told my grandchildren and my children stories like that, but I don't tell them to believe anything. Never. I've never done that. But she really is connected to Thor. And it's not because I have told her or tried to connect her in any way. It's really amazing.
What do you think it means for Thor when you said to Thor, have her take her as yours?
Well, I do not know what it means to him. But I was just talking to myself. It's like I say, when you are connected to a God, you are really talking to yourself. And I was just saying, really, whether she stays or whether she goes, I am satisfied that she's yours. You do what is right. And then, of course, I was thinking, help the doctors, because I couldn't do anything. There were 5 doctors around her bed. I was just here sitting by the fire alone. And I do believe that if you connect to your God, or whatever it is that's stronger than you, it helps. Because what you believe in, whether it's a God or if it's elves or dwarves or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's your mind that's working. And the mind is so strong. And even if we are people of today, I mean, we have television and radio and iPods and whatever, we know that those things are not everything. Science is not everything. Our minds are stronger than we know. Just imagine if you think about it and you turn on a thing like that, like the radio, flip one switch, and you hear something that's said miles, hundreds of miles away. It comes through the air somehow. You don't see it, but it's there. There are so many things in life that we don't see and we can't explain, but it's still there.
Tell me about a time you doubted your faith and what happened.
Well, I don't think I can answer that question, because I don't doubt my faith. I can't doubt my faith, because then I'm doubting myself, because it's me. You see, I get angry sometimes, and that's just me too. And we're just people. We cannot accept everything that happens to us, and we're not always satisfied with things as they are. But that doesn't make us doubt ourselves or God or whatever it is. You see, I believe that we are responsible for ourselves. That's part of our religion. There are really 3 things. You are responsible for yourself. For me, I cannot say, please God, forgive me and I'll never do this again. Maybe I've kicked somebody's ass or something. I mean, it doesn't help to ask for God's forgiveness, because I didn't kick his ass. I need to ask the one that I hurt for forgiveness. I'm responsible for what I do. And I cannot blame a God for that. I will just have to be responsible. And then there's this equality, you see. You have to be honest, and you have to be, how do you say it in English? Oh, it's so bad when you can't use your own words, your own language sometimes. What's it called when you believe in people have the same rights as you? What's the word for that?
Equality?
Equality, yes, maybe that's it. Or
what's the word in Icelandic? Maybe there's some similar word.
yeah, well, I don't know. It's called the virðing. Well, I don't know. Maybe the respect would be it. You see, you have to respect. That's also part of God within you. You have to respect. You have to respect yourself. Because people who don't respect themselves, they cannot respect anybody else. And they cannot think that anybody else will respect them if they don't do that themselves. And you have to respect everybody around you. It doesn't matter what religion they are in, or the color of their skin, or how they work, or their education, or their sex, or whatever. You have to respect people. And if you respect people, and you respect yourself, you will be happy, and you will manage your life. That's really, for me, that is that's God. Well, my family. I'm very grateful for having a family. That's really the most beautiful thing in the world, that's having friends and family. There's really nothing that compares to that. And, well, I've got everything to be thankful for, really. I'm a lucky person. I live in this beautiful country, and I'm connected to the earth. And I have those people around me, and I have animals. What else do you need? Oh my, this is hard. I don't know. You can always say peace on earth, of course. But it's not that easy, you see. It's my greatest wish. I don't know. I just wish that people would be kinder to each other. I think really that our only problem in this world is that people don't understand each other. If we would know each other better, it's because we don't know each other. All the people that have different culture, we don't know them, and we don't understand them. We need to understand each other. And we need to understand that this is not a competition. Life on earth is not a competition. We need to work together, because if we don't, we will not survive. This world will not survive if we don't work together. I think that's my wish, that people would understand each other and try to work together and not always compete.
When I show people your portrait that we made outside, what do you want me to tell them about you? How should I describe you?
I don't know. I'm not good at describing myself, really.
I met Jóhanna in Iceland, and
I really can't tell you that. I'm not good at describing myself.
How do your friends describe you?
I wouldn't know. I don't know. I really don't know.
Is there anything else you'd like to share as part of this document?
Not that I remember. No.
Well, thank you so much. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
It's an honor to meet you.
It was nice to meet you too.